I got started hanging out with my dad, and he started bringing me to all the different studio sessions when I was probably about 8. And I would always play the instruments in the studio and whatnot. And he started bringing me to, different shows. He was playing with Tower Power and different people like that, some major heads. So I just spent a lot of time hanging out with these incredibly talented people. And so just rubbing off from their energy and learning what I can from seeing and feeling. So I just started off from being in it, from being around my family, being around my father. My father, definitely my biggest influence. My father, he was such a huge influence, and I saw what he was doing, this, that, and the other thing in the music business, that I didn't even almost want to touch it. I just wanted to let him do his thing, not let him do his, I just wanted to see him do his thing and be a side, person on the side and watch and be in awe and whatnot. And I went into graphic design. That's what I went for. I went to college for it. I got a degree for it, and I worked. And when I was sitting in the office, all that went through my head was music. And the dude who was sitting next to me, my boss, he started getting annoyed because all I was doing was making beats with my mouth and, singing melodies and whatnot. So after a while, I started telling him, I'm thinking about getting some equipment, maybe messing around. And, after about 4 months of dilly-dallying with this graphic design stuff, I quit. And I spent all my credit cards and bought, keyboard. I remember the first keyboard I got, it was a Ellis QS6 keyboard for $1,000, this little, 33 key keyboard. And then a friend of my father's gave me a sequencing program, and I hooked up the keyboard to my computer, and from there on, I just started making beats for different people. I wasn't even thinking about singing at that point. I was just making beats. And so I don't know, it just kind of came to fruition from me just messing around with equipment, with toys for kids, musical toys for kids, and it become what it is today. Like a lot of things, I find that it goes through phases. Sometimes I want to just sit in the studio and be a gearhead and play with my equipment and make beats. And other times I feel like, moving an audience. I performed for 3 years with a wedding band of all things. And I got like 600 gigs under my belt. So that was an amazing experience in itself, just seeing what it felt like to perform for people and see the reaction that people have when you sing for them. But when you produce, it's fun, you know what I mean? When you send tracks to rappers and other talented people, when they get on your creative ideas, on your beats and whatnot, that's fun too. So it just goes through phases, like almost anything. Music, man, that's my passion. There's nothing else I want to really get up for, unless it's a beautiful woman, but music is my passion, and that's what keeps me happy. If I'm feeling sad in the day, I'll put on my headphones and I'll feel a little better, so I don't know what makes me different, really. I'll leave that to an audience to decide, but I just feel like I have an energy in me that exists, and I want to make it known, and so that's what I'm doing. Superstardom is, a lot of artists will say this, but I'm not talking shit when I say it's not my main goal to be a superstar. I really just want to make a good living. I want to be able to get a house and, do what I want to do. I want to travel the world, this, that, and the other thing. And good thing I have music in me to be able to try and do that. So, the business has put me through a little bit of a mill, but it's nothing that no one goes through, no one else doesn't go through, you know what I mean? Like, everybody goes through this stuff, so it's, business is the business, and if we can't handle it, we need to get out the kitchen, you know what I mean? I see music going to the live atmosphere more than anything. I see that artists have to start really proving themselves. So, and I think that's a good thing. I also think it's a good thing to have, your product, your CD out there as well, but, I think performing live is what's gonna really take it to the next level. I think that's where it's going. I think that's where it has to be, so that they can feel energy, the audiences, Artists, if they've got something to offer, you might as well offer it. You only got one life on this earth. Well, it's up to debate, but, you might as well offer your energy if you have it. First of all, I just want to say I love Canada. That's why I'm repping Canada right now. I got this sweatshirt on that says Canada, and I love it. It's cold as a motherfucker, but I love it. I love the people, and I will say that thank goodness that they have somewhat embraced my music and accepted me. I'm kind of like, adopted by Canada in a way. So, I'm from Boston, but now I got, Toronto and Boston. That's where I'm from now. That's what I say to people. Meeting people like Estero, all the different artists that are up here. Just working with them, and Socrates, can't not mention him. Super talented cats up here that really don't get all the attention they deserve. But just rubbing elbows with those cats, you learn, you get their energy and you learn a little bit, and you take what you can and you put your own twist on it. And so I feel definitely my style has been, affected by Canada heavily. I don't know what's going on in the States, but the energy there it feels more competitive. The energy here feels more friendly. So that's the difference that I see. Anytime I get back there, talk to different musicians and whatnot, it feels more like people want to fight you, musically, friendship-wise. But when you come up here, it's like everybody wants to put a smile, and that's a good thing. It feels exhilarating and exciting to know that I'm going to show people what had existed in my mind and my heart. And, it's just an extension of feelings that I had at a given time, a point in time. And each song represents a different emotion, a different feeling, a different time, different relationship. And so when I look back maybe 20 years and listen to this album, I know that, it represented so much what I experienced here in Canada, the different people I worked with, all the things I went through. No, it's just exciting to know that it's my heart, that's on this CD. There's other people on it too, K-Cut, he produced a few tracks, that's my boy. But you're right, for the most part, I produced it all and sang it all my damn self. So yeah, man, it's exciting, it's a good thing. I would say that I'm a passionate guy. That's what I would say. If I didn't have music, I would have passion for something else. It would probably be like hiking or something. I would find some way to live off of my passion some other way, I would even be like a tour guide on a mountain or something. That's where I'd go. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. That's what the world needs. We need to just keep loving, y'all. That's what I'll say. I got nothing else to say other than that, really. Nah, man, I don't know. Fans, if they're out there, just keep loving what you love and keep moving, Don't lay down. Just keep getting up every day and do something. Be productive. That's what I'll say. Don't get lazy.